Welcome everyone, Questini here with my campaign guide for Epidemius, the free legendary lord that was introduced in Thrones of Decay for Nurgle. Now, I think Epidemius, out of all the legendary lords, the 4 legendary lords in total that came with Thrones of Decay, he's probably the one that's in kind of like the worst state in a campaign. His victory conditions are a mess. His campaign effect situation requires you to work with plagues on non-Nurgle factions in order for you to get his faction effect. And it's like, oh, you get an armor ability that summons a Great Unclean One and also does a significant amount of damage on an enemy. Okay, fair enough, but still. So first things first, we're going to start getting over here the Rancid Aloe in order to start getting Chaos Warriors of Nurgle, which are very powerful, Pestigors, all that. We do start with an income building here, and we are just going to replenish the troops over there. Now, the thing to understand is the key to this campaign is not following necessarily in the victory conditions that the game sets for you. It's rather bypassing those victory conditions and doing your own thing. We're going to declare war on the Aceling and get a non-aggression pact. Ignore Daniel, he's not worth it. In fact, it's actually quite beneficial if you might defeat trait farm Daniel, because his defeat trait gives you plus diplomatic relations with Kislev. Okay, so we deal with this battle, and then we're just going to, let's see, we're starting at 54 in Nurgle corruption. What we want to do here is actually ignore all of that, because we're gonna march from Malice's territory in order to make him our vassal. I know the victory condition does require you to defeat him, but here's the thing. It is going to take you time for you to get to that point. You want to go for carcinogenic. But like the thing with Malice, there is this army of Tzeentch here, there's the Blighted Grove, and there is the Cliff of Beasts. If you take these elements and put the barracks in each of them, or even one of them, you can get a vassalization agreement with Malice Darkblade. So right here, we do start with a decent level of money. We are already at minus 18% recruitment with Nurgle. So we're just going to recruit all of these units. And truth be told, we could even, like, we're not really going to fight any major factions, so we could even delay. Yeah, plagues are unlocked. The first plague is unlocked.
Hellish power.
So we could even delay that.
Speak.
Okay.
Cross bones. Chaos
Right. Because we may want to pick up the fungi of defilement, though, truth be told. Yeah, we do want this. Right, anyway. So, a couple of turns later, we will, like, so I'm gonna go for these elements. Even if I have to face this army, it's like, it's a significantly smaller army than me. I have 19 units, I'm getting money, so I'm gonna be in a good position. I am going to ignore this because, like, there is very little benefit here in dealing with that. And this is kind of like one of the keys. You recruit all these units and you go and you just rush Malice Darkblade, and you might be able to win that if you are intent. But here's the problem: if you do kill Malice Darkblade, you'll end up just giving all of this territory here to Sigvald, which is not really in your interest. Like, the Chaos factions don't like each other that much. And you look at, like, the Tzeentchian factions, but, like, Malice, he's only got minus 10 aversion. So this is the thing that's irritating about, like, the victory conditions. There is no reason in this campaign for you to want to wipe out Malice Darkblade when you can use Vassalization for diplomacy to get that done. Boris, Ursus, and Malachite, that's a different affair. Kislev, whatever. But, like, and even if you do want to fight Malice Darkblade, why rush that? There's, again, no benefit in rushing that. Like, literally no benefit whatsoever in rushing that in particular, because Malice is very strong early on. Even when he gains level, the main strength he has is at the beginning of the campaign. So you picking a fight with him as early as possible means that you're going to fight him at the highest point of strength. He's going to have that black arc, so he's going to have those bombardment abilities. You want to eliminate that. So if you just rush him on turn 2, you may win, but it's not going to be as beneficial as you might think. On turn 5 over here of the campaign, we've cornered the Army of Siege. It's only got Blue Horrors of Siege, some Screamers, and Chaos Furies of Siege. So not a threat in any situation. It is a shame I didn't quite manage to corner this army and destroy it. I would get 11 infections. So one of the main things you're actually going to struggle with in the Nurgle campaign, go for Armor of Malady. One of the things you're going to struggle with is getting enough infections. Likely a rebellion will take place, but we do want to get more of those things right there. We can even possibly stop a rebellion right there. So we've gotten a building so far. And now I'm just gonna get on a sea lane right here and go, or just go for the north after the rebellion spawns. Which that does mean I would incur a bit of a penalty, though my relationship with him is still increasing. Once I sell these 2 territories with barracks, though right now I'm just gonna build infections. Once I sell those territories, it will be fine. So now we just march here. We're gonna get a rebellion in the Forest of Decay as well at one point. So yeah, just get infections for a moment and then switch up for these buildings. You could even benefit from going for the Demonic Egg Sacs because you will want Chaos Furies in order to deal with Malachi. Specifically, you want Chaos Furies to deal with the Spirit of Grugni. Now, one particular objective that can really benefit you early on is this one, getting 200 infections by raising Nurgle corruptions. It's fairly common to get an objective like this. I am going to sell the Cliff of Beasts. We also get -7 control in enemy control province. So that, and there's like, yeah, just various missions that will give you infections. So now, yeah, there is a risk of a rebellion here, undeniably so, but it is one we can manage. We can also get a plague at this point, although I would probably want to be careful with respect to that, because like, there's no point in rushing for plagues in a campaign when that is quite very, very likely to hurt you one way or another. Don't get the peace agreement with these guys just yet, until Daniel is far enough away that he's likely to wipe down. Because you obviously want Daniel to wipe the Tzeentchians here out and not have to wait 10 turns to take this settlement. Next objective here is gonna be Boris Ursus. Leave Malachi for last, because if we look, let me just toggle Fog of War. If we look at his AI, and for whatever AI stats modifier, ignore that. That has no impact on the campaign so far. Not auto-resolve, nothing like that. I am using auto-resolve mods just for the sake of it. But like, if we look at Malachi, he does tend to be fairly passive in his AI. So if you're thinking like Malachi is going to become some unstoppable force, he will in time, but you do have that flexibility early on. Like in every campaign I have personally played here, he always does this. Just he fights his initial battle, he doesn't take a settlement, and then he sits on his ass. The problem is, if you rush him there, he's gonna have free stacks and the garrison of Crocodrock for you to deal with. That is not a pleasant thing to deal with in a campaign. So yeah, rebellion potentially sparking here, though we can of course avoid it. Alright, the all-seeing eye has been eliminated, and we're making progress over here, though we're also going to get the rebellion soon enough. I'm also starting to get heroes over here in the Bilious Cliffs, because I chose to go with the walls here. One, it will help protect the port, which is pretty important, because the way the AI works is that the AI will not attack over long distances on land, but they will, or they'll do it more slowly, but they will do so via sea. So ports are one of the more vulnerable points. So actually getting a building that gives you garrisons, that is actually important, right? So, you know, getting all this. And besides, I want the Cultist of Nurgle. I want the Exalted Hero of Nurgle. I already have a Plague Ridden. And so, like, the Cast Sorcerer of Nurgle would be pretty sweet, but not really a priority over here. Okay, so now, what's the corruption over here? 97, so I'm not necessarily going to recruit something right here. Okay, let's just declare war on Daniel. Like, you could vassalize him if you really, really wanted to. But I'll be blunt in saying he's freaking fucking Daniel. Like, there is very little you can gain from him. Now, over here, I can go with Grove. I think I'm gonna go with Grove. And we do have some units, so I'm just gonna get rid or merge these Nurglings. And just get rid of them and get those two Forsaken. Because I have money. I have tons of money even. Like, screw that, really. So just one Marauder of Nurgle with two-handed weapon. I don't want to go too crazy on this. So now just saving points because I want to unlock his entire special skill line. A couple of important things that are crucial here. Pox Seedling is a godsend. Like, seriously, this is not even funny. Like, how crazy powerful that is. So yeah, like, we're gonna start working on that confederation with Malice Darkblade. We are going to declare war on Grumbrindle. You do want to do it, and give him a gift as well. Actually, give him multiple gifts, but like multiple gifts or spread them apart. So 54 right there. So yeah, there's a high chance of a rebellion here. Let's see what is gonna happen. I don't need more Nurgle corruption, but I could use the growth over there. And yeah, Daniel just decides to besiege me. It's one of the things I kind of forget to do because I knew he was there because that was the final settlement that he took from them. I knew he was gonna do that because he thinks he has a chance. He doesn't, by the way. Like, if you think, like, Daniel can have a dangerous army, Regiment's Renown situation and all that, but he certainly won't have a dangerous army at this point. He might be higher level, but I've got enough Plague Bearers, I've got Forsaken, I've got Epidemius, I've got a hero, so it's like, yeah, I am stronger than Daniel. The reason the AI attacks, and mind you, I could probably out-resolve this if on vanilla, like, because he's... Okay, so just a bit of damage, captures enemies in battle. The unfortunate situation here is like, yeah, that's, you know, that's on me. So you look at this army, the only thing that's dangerous in this army are those bloodletters that he starts with. Everything else is actually vastly inferior to everything I do have over here. So it's like, it's not an army that is going to be able to stop me. It's just that simple, really. Okay, so let's get Volcanic Heart. So Rebellion is gonna spark next turn. I did lose those. It's like, these battles you should fight manually because you want to avoid those kind of outcomes. Now over here I am going to get some Chaos Furies, and over here, like, my income may not be great,
Let us not allow haste or
but I can work with that. Crucial aspect of vassalization is that you want... So I might have to sell him both settlements,
but the only promise I make is to seek
in order to make that work. Now, I'm going to cast Furies again, like Malachi. You don't need an enormous number of them. Which one's a good one? So, one with Tough, pretty solid, but I do find, like, the Cast Lord to actually be good, even though this particular one doesn't have a trait. So now, I'm in this kind of position where I can either get a rebellion to spawn now, or I can wait one more turn. with respect to that. Okay, so over here, what we want, you want magic is all well and good, but you kind of also want the survivability. And if you can save up, that's great. Now, generally, you'll either get a cult in Tamarkan's location or Kugaf's location. So basically, if you're playing any of the Nurgle campaigns, you are going to get a cult in one of the other two, or even both, at a particular point. So that is a bit weird. Now, I don't expect Daniel has another army here, and crucially, I have gained his defeat rate. So that's going to give me minus 50 attrition from all types of attrition. Can be useful against Kislev. And 20 diplomatic relations with Kislev, which can help avoid some declarations of war. So yeah, you can see that a minor siege army has spawned. Either they attack, in which case my units over there will be able to defeat them, or they don't attack, my guys replenish, it's no problem whatsoever. I just put them in a settlement, get even better replenishment. Heroes are coming in. One crucial aspect, don't ally Malice Darkblade if you want to have an easier time vassalizing him. It's pros and cons, to be sure, with respect to that, but like generally I would say like it's not worth vassalizing. Like you want him to feel like he's weak, you want to draw all his money. And as you can see over here, they did not attack. I could attack, to be sure. Let's see what we got. So let's take a look at this army. It says heroic victory. Like, that's such a bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, Blue Horrors would not win that. Like, there is no freaking chance Blue Horrors win that. Zero, zilch, nada. Alright, let's leave the siege battle for last and just make it the reason I want to leave the siege battle for last is because when I take the provincial capital, a rebellion will happen there, and I kind of want the rebellion. I might have to build another barracks here, by the way, but that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm just gonna start constructing this. I know I'm losing money, but that's why we get the ability of declaring war on Gorst, and like that's why the cult is such a significant benefit. Now, it's interesting to note that like without Kraka-Drak and the war that Trog starts at, his AI is actually far less dangerous for Kislev. So Kislev, one of Kislev's problems is that Trog would be very aggressive against you, but now he has to go for Kraka-Drak, but he's not at war with Kraka-Drak from the beginning. Honestly, if I was playing Malachai's campaign, I would be perfectly fine, you know, starting a war with Trog. Would give a better focus on that. But you would want to defeat Frot more than Trog. The reason is, if you allow Hellpit to gain higher level, it's harder to take down, so you want to rush it for that reason alone. If you allow the Skaven to build up, they become more difficult, so on and so forth. So, pros on that particular choice. So if I can get the vassalization agreement, I've built 2 barracks, I've gotten Cast Furies, I've gotten Warhounds, I'm in a pretty solid state here, right? So let's take a look if that has been enough. If not, we can do a couple of other things as well. Yeah, you know, screw it. Like, he's just getting blue horrors at this point. Damn, that's a lot of infections.
Ready for dispersal. We defile the paths.
In truth, maybe I want to march here. Okay, we'll be able to recruit.
They will decay.
Okay. I am not. Right, over here. No, I want the port defended, but I'm not really in a priority, so let's get more cast warriors. And also here, let's just recruit these guys, because one of them is going to give me movement range, the other one is going to give me melee capability, which I could use. No plagues yet. It's just not worth it. Especially because you do want research. Get this particular research for diplomatic relations. You can vassalize Archeon if you play your cards right in this particular campaign. Children and Nurgle, that's the only thing we're gonna get over there. So how am I gonna deal with this? It's pretty simple, really, in a lot of ways. It's gonna be fairly simple.
Well met this night.
Like, as you can see, my relationship with him is improving even further. And so what I need here is another barracks. Maybe I would have been better served by getting a regular barracks, although it did get transformed into a regular barracks, or maybe just built one over there. Alright, so Daniel is over there. We're still a couple of turns away.
To forge peace or make war.
Yeah, it's still showing 40. So once I get this to tier 2 and build another barracks, that will be working in my favor.
Of the Fly Lord.
I could try and lure him. So just get rid of the Nurglings. Like, I really couldn't care less about the Nurglings, honestly. Like, they're not an important unit of this particular army. Like, every other unit is more valuable in a Nurgle army
Locating the unwell.
than freaking Nurglings. Now, it is possible that Daniel will take that settlement, which, yeah, that wouldn't be great. Especially because of the infection situation. So you will lose infections if the AI does that, so it's like, if you want to be just a bit safer. You can also lure the enemy towards attacking you if you decide... Wait, what am I doing here? Yeah, that was a mistake. That was a big-ass mistake. Yeah, I just got confused a bit with settlements. Shouldn't have canceled that, but regardless. Over here, we want Root Marcher and Inspiring Presence. Public order is being restored right. And the AI saw what they were dealing with. Boris Ursus has shown up. Boris Ursus the savior. Or do. Now, what happened here specifically is that because I defeated Daniel's army, what Boris did, he can either declare war on Archeon or he can declare war on Daniel. The reason he usually goes to war with Archeon will only have like one army. And so Boris might think, oh, that's actually easier. Whereas Daniel will actually start getting multiple armies because Daniel has regular recruitment. He doesn't have the same limits that Archeon does or, you know, Nurgle does. Though, of course, he's also going to be very likely to declare war on you. And also, yeah, he's at war with Archeon. But like in this case, he actually saw his opportunity. Is that a winnable battle? That is a bit of a tricky one, I gotta say.
I will murder
So let's see what...
get what I must.
Like 39. We got Sigvald. I know that I'm going to suffer diplomatically. But we can keep paying him. Like, this is the key. Like, just start improving relations with between yourself and a faction. So he's going all the way to 96.
Lord of Fear.
Yeah, just avoid the military alliance aspect there. And now declare war on Boris Ursus. If you end up in this situation. Oh look, I'm gonna lose a frog. Whatever will I do? Don't care. Now Boris Ursus does have a dangerous army. Yeah, that's part of the problem. I'll have to deal with that. Lovely stuff. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, sometimes you do get these kind of good auto-resolve results, and then it's like, get wrecked. But now we have unlocked this one, which is pretty damn substantial. Like, one of the things I've always said to people in these guides, fight your battles manually. Because even if you win a lot of Like, in virtually 99% of battles, if you have any kind of decent level of skill, you will win a battle better than any auto-resolve, even with a mod. But it's also to avoid the situation like this. You auto-resolve, you take a ton of damage, and then, wow, I'm gonna lose half my army on the next one, right? That is not great. Now, would Boris Ursus kill half your army? Well, Sargars and Armor Constars can be dangerous, but so are Forsaken. So, that's up to you. And besides, don't underestimate Rawflies or Chaos Furies or Nurgle. Like, they've been pretty buffed. They're pretty fast as well. Now, over here, I have unlocked his quest battle, but I am not going to do it.
Master of magic.
Because it is a pretty difficult quest battle. Funnily enough, you can use actually like, okay, it's not as bad. This army could defeat it, but it's like, yeah, just waiting for full strength. More importantly, however, you can declare war on a ton of factions that are very far away from you, that will not march to attack you. So just go to the High Elves and accept every declaration of war. Get some peace agreements if you want to, if you really, really want to. But don't necessarily get peace agreements instantly. Kind of worth saying. That's one of the benefits of quest battles, is like they can give you that vision. So like over here, I'm losing money each turn, but you know, I'm in a good enough position to not really care about it. And yeah, just do the quest battle. It's not necessarily the best damned item in the world in a lot of ways, though that upkeep for 5% for Nurgle units, pretty sweet, not gonna lie, in quite a few ways. Okay, so over here I have built these structures in the Blighted Grove. It may not be enough, it may yeah, that may happen as well. I don't know what's going on over there. I really don't know. Like that is a bug. I just wanted to highlight that. Now over here, when you're going to attack Boris Ursus, like, just you might have in a lot of campaigns the situation that Archeon will defeat him on his own. I've also picked up a sorcerer over here, so you may not have to bother about it. But yeah, there's something really broken over there, I gotta tell you. Also, you feel free to declare war on Terranok like this, because no one cares about Terranok. Also, how the hell did you end up in a war with Musalon of all things? But yeah, like a lot of factions very far away, get an impression pact with whatever Beastman faction will show up. It may not be Kazrak in your case, in your situation, but it certainly will be a faction. Some faction. But yeah, just avoid. That was pretty damn ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. That is pretty damn ridiculous. People have certainly mentioned that in their respective campaigns.
At your service.
Don't declare war on the Varg, though the ports they have could be useful to you, but ports are not necessarily a big priority. Yeah, the Great Orthodox. I just need money for 2 turns, that's it. Boris Ursus. He does. Yeah, should be able to reach it next turn. And this is his last territory, and what I'm going to do is attack the army he has out there. Like, the army, his main army is dangerous, but like, he's so spread apart, fighting so many enemies. Like, he'll fight Archeon for certain. He might fight Daniel, especially if you destroy Daniel's main army. He might just do what he did in this campaign. You could fight Archeon if you want to, but I don't think it's really worth it. Like, there's nothing to be gained from fighting Archeon. Except territory, but it's not necessarily the best piece of land in the world. Okay. So we get various, like, just a lot of things.
Slaughter the
World Scourge.
Alright, so over here,
Chronic
we want to attack that army. Why do I keep losing Furies? Sorry, I'm just gonna have to deal with this on my own because, like, yeah, that's pretty annoying. Well, them archers sure do like going after those Furies, should protect them a bit better, but just with an Occupy, and that's Boris Ursus in a nutshell. Let's see about him.
But the only promise I make is
Yeah, still 45. I have a solution. Garrison building. Chance of rebellion can happen. Pretty damn hilarious, though. So how much would Archeon give me for the Tower of Torment? A pretty decent enough deal, I suppose. All things considered. So this is where really we start talking about dilemmas. Because, like, if I just recruit all of these units, I will run out of money. Similarly, okay, let's just now repair these because they're obviously going to be repaired on their own. I know I don't have enough for a plague. Leveling wise, once you're done with Armor Malady, his special skill line, focus on the stuff at the top. For him, you just want survivability. What you may want is Acid Ichor. And you can gain more experience and casualty replenishment through your Exalted Hero. Now, what's important in the research tree is you do want to get the Contagious Horde, but that's 200 infections. So yeah, this is the reason why you don't bother with that. And then you want to go down this path because you can get a significant number of benefits, infections, various other benefits, plague immunity duration, all these kind of things. Crucially, this one, Fattening Seeds. So you effectively get an endgame, like between Epidemius skill line, as well as the research over there, you get the skill that generally requires dwarves to spend 1,000 of gold and many more turns than it takes for you. Okay, so we got one objective to defeat 6 Keys of Cathay Empire armies in the field. There's also one for sacking, raising 6 Keys of Cathay Empire settlements with 2,000 infections as a reward. You obviously want to do that. But now we got this particular quest pal. Like, yeah, just... It's actually very, very easy, like a lot easier than this indicates. And yeah, that's the maxed out infections right there. Now, in effect, I do want to save up for important stuff. But also, yeah, we do want plagues. So I'm just gonna put this one. And we do get the cost reduction over there as well. So let's do that. Get bloated carcass because we're about to fight the dwarves. Fix kind, always a good skill to have. Foe seeker. I've got 2 turns over here and 2 turns over here. Rebellion will not be happening right now. With all that sweet, sweet money, what we're going to do is get some raw flies. It sure as heck is gonna be nasty. Income wise, that is. But we do want to start sailing against Malachi. We'll use the port. Like, if Malachi attacks me on his own, he will not necessarily be able to stop me. I do replenish more here, But like the purpose behind all of these, like these are fast-moving units that can surround his cannons, and Rafflies and Chaos Furies are designed to deal with the Thunder Barge and any gyrocopters, because he does have gyrocopters. But any gyrocopters that he has. I've also gotten more declarations of war.
Big as an old in me belly.
Carcassonne.
Talking monks.
And yeah, playing on higher difficulties is very, very beneficial from this perspective.
As you said.
Now, I may not be able to vassalize Malice Darkblade, maybe in this situation, right? There is an argument to be made of overgoing here, but your victory condition does require you to defeat him. Importantly, though, I can certainly make him an ally. If I, if I sell the Blighted Grove, he will become an ally. A vassal would be better, because he's less likely to break that agreement. But... And you don't want Malice to do anything. Like, you just want him to sit on his ass, not level up, not fight enemies. By going west, like, even if I don't vassalize Malice, I've eliminated the possibility of him gaining any power. In point of fact, if you do intend to defeat him early on, it's actually more beneficial in your campaign if you do something like that. There we go. There's the mad freaking dwarf. Now, he doesn't have enough movement range there. He may attack me here. He may not attack me. I have a temptation right here to... Like, he will probably attack the Norskins, but it's like one of those, tricky affairs. Okay, so... one more turn right here. Now, fun fact, you might benefit a lot in this particular campaign if you literally just get Tamarkan's defeat trait over here. No joke. As for Archeon, yeah, he's gonna ask a lot. He's also Sigvald is at war with Hellebrand. Well and good from my point of view. Khazrak is being Khazrak, as in freaking useless and annoying. And so the ball is in Malachi's court. If he attacks me at sea with both of his armies, which he could try to do so, he might be able to win, though he doesn't actually even have his main army there. Interesting. What is going on over there? Alright, so Trog is showing up. And you don't necessarily want Trog to win that, by the way. That's just kind of worth saying that. Like, it's not really to your significant benefit if Trog wins that particular fight. So we're just gonna relax, chill out, let Malachi beat the shit out of that. There's Khazrak. Okay.
I only deal in two commodities. Wealth.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Power. I
Feared by all.
This is no place for the weak, but still you come. I do not fail.
Canes! A misplaced word. Agreed.
Alright, she's at war with Valkia.
Very well.
You can also do distant confederations. I can also start giving Kugaf more money.
But not death.
Although it would be better if I set the terms. So just go with something like that, right? You do need a certain relationship level to make that work. Now, of course, if I had avoided the war between myself and Malachi, I could have obviously replenished at sea, but that's not really too big of a problem. Okay, so Archeon.
Your abasement pleases me.
There we go. At least one vassal. You do want... It would have been better had Sigvald work like that. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I've been able to do it. Though you may also have to take the Twisted Towers and sell that to him as well. Or just that sell him. Like, it's up to you how much you want to. Like, do you want Sigvald to be active and actually help you out? I do hope they change this victory condition, because I do think it's ridiculous. Like, the freaking long campaign is a joke, right? It's like, oh, Ice Court. It's like, well, I guess we're gonna get some greenskin vassals soon enough. But yeah, like, dealing with Malachi, if you fight him one-on-one, one army against another, that is manageable. If you fight 2 or 3 armies at the same time, and it's possible because of his more passive nature that does happen in your campaign, that is when things become a problem. So just be careful. Let's see what he does. We still have Trog over here somewhere. So he's withdrawn that army. That means I am going to have to land with both of my forces. We do have Katrin over there. What I want to do here, what you're in a good position to do here, although I could just ignore that and go for the port over here, but that would just be benefiting that would just be benefiting Trog. Like, I was gonna give this to Fraught, but you know, needs be.
Sail out! Reckoner of mortality! Meat to flesh! Get in my gut! Good for experiment trial!
What? Yeah.
Take in my aspect, a bargain. Play.
Your will?
It is my
Alright, so Help It does require a finer touch. But yeah, Malice is just passive. Sigvald is not going to declare war on him in that context because he's allied with me, so I'm gonna benefit. I actually have 2 plagues over there. That is hilarity. Alright, just gonna wait more because we do want more expensive stuff. Yeah, what's the growth situation? It's slow, but we're getting to tier 3 in 1 settlement. So I guess Trog did defeat Malachi. Disappointing. I was hoping to fight the big bastard himself. He might replenish, though, in that particular settlement. Krakadraka is gone. We can do some other things, though, in order to make a vassal agreement work. Right there. So, like, ignore Krakadrak, let Trog deal with it. Although, Trog is certainly not going to claim Crocodrock. I have an idea. We could take Crocodrock ourselves and trade it for the Lair of the Troll King, though that might not work, or get a vassal agreement with him. Like, that's the key, like, one of the things that's kind of key here is getting those kind of agreements. Wow, everyone's just beating up on poor Malachi, holy shit. Don't ask me about it. I did nothing. It's more common than one might think. Alright, so that might seem like a bad deal.
Slaughter the sheep. Always ready for a headbutting contest. Blood. Norsk. Dogma. True savages. Always ready for a headbutting. No delay. Accepted.
We just got another vassal. Don't ally him.
Who's next? Choose your words carefully.
Go to war with Osland.
Done and done. World Walker. Now.
I mean, yeah, when everything goes the freaking right way you want it, sure, the campaign is a joke. Yeah, I'm gonna sell the Lair of the Troll King for this particular settlement. Or I'm gonna buy the Lair of the Troll King, because then... we can build a barracks in the Lair of the Troll King. And sell it to Fraught for a vassal agreement. That is essentially what we're gonna do. And yeah, just take RhadigarTV. No, not that one. Yeah, cast Vanguard. Need more heroes, undeniably so. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just get this for a moment. Nah, Tamarkan. Go to, like, you can get the Plague, but the problem is, like, you can't rely on a Lord being present, so it's just better to accept the fact that you're gonna get only 5 infections. Yeah, those cults, man. Those cults are freaking useless. Grom is a good, nice money cache. Because you will have vision on Elfarian. And through that particular vision... He's not dead yet.
No need to summon me.
As said, there's no one...
Blessings to them. Yes. Undefeated. I'm in shock.
Grow knows the score.
Speak.
So yeah, just having those extra 100, like, getting to 100 infections for a single battle, like, pretty good. Okay, we're not gonna get that, because it's, like, way, way, way too damn expensive. I'm just gonna get the regular barracks. The downside of all of this. We can also take Yetkich. So people were like, this campaign start is so brutal. I'm like, I mean, there was one difficult battle in Boris Ursus, but it's like, yeah, you avoid the hard one, the hard early game battle with when Malastart played. Then there's ways to win that as well. Like Legend has done that, I think. But there's various ways of winning that. Either winning early. Dwarves. Let me just, like, it's not It's not the insane dwarf, so it doesn't count, does it? Yeah, more infections. Really enough. What are you guys doing? Like, they're at sea. It's great stuff. Yeah, that's it for Malachi. Like, if it had been Malachi's main army, I would have fought that, but manually, just to show how to deal with the Spirit of Grungni. But yeah, it's not. I'm curious who's powerful, Wulfric or Azazel? Probably Wulfric. Yeah, Norska is a joke of a faction with horrible potential, but in the hands of a player. But put it in the hands of the AI, and suddenly things get a lot more interesting. A lot more viable as well. Okay. So what we want here is just a basic barracks. You little scheming SOB.
No time to waste.
How did you freaking manage that?
Noxious growth. Talk fast.
No, consort.
So I just want
What have you
to
to say to the master
start
of hosts?
building these relationships, but bear in mind the financial cost, right? Because like I'm pretty beating up right now. Ideally, you build these relationships without declaring war on the enemies, because like if you do declare war on someone's enemies, it's not going to count for as much, so you can far more easily confederate the faction without
With Nurgle.
a declaration of war on someone's enemies. Also, by the way, vassal-wise, it's actually more worth it to get Fraught than Trog. But, yeah, it's like, you can get them as allies as well.
I am ascendant.
Not needed. Not at the moment. A little schemer, though. So, just gonna skip ahead 4 turns when this is completed. Because, like, the campaign is won in 30 turns. Not really too bad. I mean, it can be a bit slow. Lots of traipsing around to be sure. But, yeah. Win. Some turns later, well, everything that you've done will ultimately pay off. Because here's an interesting tidbit about Epidemius' starting position. While you do have a lot of potential enemies, those enemies do have at least one or multiple natural opponents. So Malice Darkblade is kind of going to be held in check by Sigvald, because Sigvald is going to go on this particular territory. Archeon is going to fight Boris Ursus. Daniel is going to fight Boris Ursus. Trog is going to fight Malachi and might even win. I would not necessarily say so in the long term, but it can happen as well. Faction potential matters. And even if Trog himself is not enough, you do have Fraught. And same with Katrin and Consolidating, you know, Azazel. You gotta add Azazel in the mix. So you have limited armies. You do have territory that does take time to negotiate. But the crucial thing that you do have in this campaign compared to many other campaigns, you have flexibility. And you can be a cheeky snake Skaven who's taking advantage of all the infighting for your own ends. Like over here, you know, just selling the lair of the Troll King as an example. Or maybe I could do it with him. Though, if a faction has done very well, they will be significantly harder to vassalize. Okay, we can take just a regular, plain old military alliance, no problem. It may be something that makes it harder, to be sure, but you won't have financial issues if you just keep pouring money into the Skaven, the Norskans, and freaking Archeon. And honestly, just having Archeon as a vassal is in itself fairly significant. Though, of course, if you could vassalize these factions yourself, as opposed to just military allies, that would be very useful. So consider yourself that you're not so much playing an empire building campaign as Nurgle, you're playing more so a Skaven Nurgle campaign in the sense that you're just a sneaky bastard showing up when someone least expects you to take them out and deal a significant level of damage. Because your early game does have that limitation. So, I don't know, like... I mean, Tamerkan can vassalize Grimgor fairly early on in his campaign, and unlike Malice, that's something that you can do for certain. But you do have to fight someone like Kolic with a full stack early on. And that can be pretty brutal. And you might, and keep in mind, in Tamerkan's campaign, you do have to defeat Grimgor for your short campaign victory condition. And let me tell you what's the difference here. Grimgor actually gets stronger the more you play the campaign. Especially if you eliminate, like, the things that hold Grimgor in check right now in an Immortal Empires campaign are Kolic or Tamerkan. Or maybe both in a very rare situation where they don't destroy one another. Kolic can win, Tamerkan can win. Either way. If you're playing a Kugav campaign, you of course have the massive brawl with Gorst. You can win it, but it's like, yeah, I mean, I've played quite a few campaigns. This did not feel stressful at all. It can be, however, if you pick, you know, if your turn 3 situation is fight Malice Darkblade's entire freaking stack, as an example. It can be if you ignore the fact that Malice Darkblade does have a tendency towards being very hostile towards you, so you shouldn't. Keep in mind that. Dark Elves are not good allies, because many times Dark Elves will declare war on you. Like, someone made the whole tier list of Greek for factions, basically factions that will consistently attack you. At the top was Be'lakor, of course, but like Dark Elf factions in general were fairly high up on that list, if I'm not mistaken. High Elves were very low, which is like, yeah, if you don't piss off the High Elves to an exceptional degree, they will leave you alone. So anyway, that's all I had to say. I know, you know, more detail on that. People ask, oh, how do you use this army to win? It's like, it's a melee fucking blob army. What do you want me to tell you? Just take it and win. Just take it and win, rotate units that might be damaged, make sure you don't lose demonic units. And truth be told, I lost more units in the auto-resolve with mods than I would in manual battles. So yeah, fight the battles manually, don't take the auto-resolve. Even if you are willing to use mods, just, yeah, there's a lot of battles here. Like, there were certain battles that I had to fight manually, there were certain things that, certainly some battles where I should have fought manually, like Boris Ursus, and they wouldn't have been a problem. Like with Boris Ursus, the danger part are his bear cav, and Sargard, it's like, that's 4 units, that's it. Anyway, Kosin signing out, stay tuned for more.